Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday, and welcome to this edition of Balance in Life. If you were on last week, this is our take two. We had those technology issues, but still had a great conversation last week. And so this week, we are happy to welcome back Alan Rasmussen, who's going to talk us through how we accomplish those things that we want to accomplish and avoid or work around or work through the challenges that arise for us. So I am Crystal Tyler Mackey, happy to welcome you on behalf of Virginia Cooperative Extension and our partners, North Carolina Cooperative Extension. If you've been on before, you know we engage quite a bit in the chat box. If you are on for the first time, welcome. We are so happy to have you. As a quick reminder or a point of information, this format that we're on is a Zoom webinar. And the way the chat box works is that when you write in the chat box, your chat messages will only come to the three of us that are on now as hosts and panelists, which are myself, Alan Rasmussen, and our co-host Bethany Eigel. If you'd like to share your thoughts and you're willing to share your thoughts and ideas with everyone, you'll need to choose in the chat box the drop-down menu that says all panelists and attendees. We hope that if it's not private, you will do that so that we can all engage in the conversation together. Having said that, I have a question for you to respond to in the chat box as Alan gets set up to start sharing with us. And that is, what are the things you want to accomplish in 2021? Have you set some goals? What are those things that you'd like to accomplish? If you start posting those in the chat box, we'd be happy to take a look at those. And Alan is going to talk us through how we get to those goals, how we make those accomplishments. So thanks to everyone. Go ahead and keep posting those in the chat. And Alan, I'm going to turn things over to you. Welcome back, my friend.
All right. Thank you, Crystal, and great to be with you and Bethany. First thing I'd like to say as I get started, we've been talking about resilience, and I want to thank Crystal and Bethany for their ability last week to be resilient in the midst of the turmoil with the loss of the Zoom and me being kicked out of the presentation. It really upset me, but I didn't react in anger or anything. I coped, and I'm ready to move forward and do a better job than ever this week with you all. So I'm incredibly excited to be here today, and I'm ready to go. I want to welcome everyone. And for those that do not know me, I am Alan Rasmussen. I'm a prevention specialist with Rappahannock Community Services. I've worked for this agency with a focus on suicide prevention and substance abuse prevention since 2003. I also work as a professor for the Bachelor of Interdisciplinary Studies program at the University of Virginia, and have worked in that position since 2002, teaching several criminal justice courses. I'm also a community counselor for National Counseling Group, and am licensed as a qualified mental health professional, able to work with adults and children. And one last thing about me, I worked for 28 years for the Virginia Department of Corrections. I retired in 2003 as a chief probation parole officer, having worked with adult offenders. So as I want to click up the slide here, I want to say Happy New Year to all of you. And I want to mention something. When I was watching the New Year's Eve shows on the television this year, many of the celebrities came on to say how glad they were for the year 2020 to come to an end. And let's get real, 2020 was unprecedented. And we know it. 2020 presented many challenges for all of us and took an extreme mental, emotional, and physical toll on individuals of all ages, and had a definite increased impact on those suffering from mental health issues. All of the presentations I have done for Virginia Cooperative Extension are connected to building resilience. The presentations were created to provide life skills information that can help improve your ability to manage challenging situations and adversity and keep moving forward in a positive direction in life, no matter the circumstances in which we find ourselves engaged. You know, and you know me, you've heard me over and over. I like to make sure you have this information too for yourself, and you can use it in your work, you can use it in your personal life. But the more we share it, the more we model it, the bigger impact we can make community wide. So, through these trainings, the benefit of learning, growing, and becoming stronger from adversity, the importance of controlling emotional reactions, the value of building healthy and trusting relationships and receiving support and understanding from others, and the value of maintaining deep optimism, which to me feeds hope, have all been emphasized. Now, now more than ever is the time to use the skills that we've been talking about and learning. Now, for many people, a new year is an exciting time. I mean, I'm excited and I hope you are too. It's a time to think about possibilities, a time to make plans, a time to make changes in our lives. We had challenges to face in 2020, and I know, and you know, we have challenges we are going to face in 2021. So I want to encourage you, you know, the opposite of what people were saying that on those New Year's Eve shows. I want you to not forget about 2020. I want you to remember what you learned and what helped you move forward in this extreme adversity. What you learned and what helped you move forward can be a valuable resource to you as you move forward in your life in 2021. So let me ask you a question, and you can answer in the chat box. Crystal and Bethany check it, and I will too. But what is something useful that you learned in 2020, you know, during this pandemic? What is something useful you learned in this extreme adverse situation? And I'm going to let you bring those in because I think it's important. What we learned is good news.
Alan, I'm seeing some things around embracing change, how to do virtual training with staff, a lot of things around navigating the internet and Zoom, some real practical things.
Some adaptability, new skills,
Yeah,
and new ways of doing business and getting
yeah,
the same goals accomplished.
yeah.
Flexibility is tied into that.
I see some things around valuing the people around us, family and friends and teammates.
Yes,
Yeah,
these are all characteristics of resilient people,
yeah.
and no
Self,
doubt. Yeah, I'm sorry.
yeah. I'm sorry. I was gonna say self-care, things around the importance of being quiet, being still, being creative. Um, yeah,
Absolutely, and those are things we've talked about, and you all are doing them. And I want to applaud you. I want to applaud you for responding to this adversity in that way, to keep yourself calm and keep moving forward. Now, as you think about the goals you want to achieve in this new year, in your work and in your personal life, I want to talk about. I'm going to pull this slide up here. We're talking about your vision and what actions you're going to need to take. And I want to give you some information about the connection between vision and action. These are interesting statements, but vision without action is a daydream. Think about that a minute. You know, somebody has a vision, but they don't put any action to it. You know, is it a goal or is it just a daydream? Action without vision is a nightmare. I mean, sometimes people go at stuff and they really don't have a focus, and you know, so it can turn into an interesting situation. So I like to present that. So I want to talk to you about your vision and how you can take actions that move you forward to achieve your dreams, your goals. That's what this presentation is about. This presentation is about knowing what you want to achieve and having a purposeful and fulfilling life. Now, I'm going to tell you, resilient people do know how to take charge of their life and manage their responsibilities, and at the same time, focus on what is important to them. They can set goals and take purposeful actions to achieve these goals. Remember that resilient people also know that challenging times and adversity provide an opportunity to learn and grow and become stronger. So, as we talk about this vision and action, I want to talk about what I call the myth of time management. Sometimes people ask me to do a presentation on time management, and my response is always I don't talk about time management. I talk about what I call action management. Why do I do that? Because time does not change. There's always 24 hours in each day. We all have the same amount of time. So really, I think that our behaviors and habits are the key, and we need to focus on our behaviors and habits in that steady block of time that we have each day. So all we can really do is manage our behaviors and what we do with the time we have. Our actions must match our stated desires. They must match our goals. Everything we do should have a purpose. You've heard about this stuff about purposeful living, purposeful actions. And so if you have this mindset that we view time as a financial investment, and monitor how we spend it. Hey, I've got 24 hours a day. I'm going to take 3 hours and I'm going to spend it doing this. I'm going to focus on doing that. If that's a good mindset, I think. And so the key here is to study our habits. And a piece of that, we have to, you heard me talking resilience about putting what you feel, what's going on, put it on the table so you can see it, examine it, make changes and make adjustments. So one of the key pieces to action management is, where do we waste time and what habits do we need to change? Now, this isn't an attack. It's we need to think about that. So I love this term, the time bandits. And I'm going to ask another question. What are your time bandits? Where do you or others end up wasting some time? What can keep people off focus, off their purpose? What are time bandits? So I'm going to let you throw that in the chat box. And if Crystal, if you'll track that, or Bethany, great having Crystal and Bethany on hand to help out, man. They're fantastic.
Thanks, Bethany. Help me with what I'm missing. I see some multitasking, screen time, movies, social media.
Screen time and the social media and the phones are a big popular answer right now.
Jumping off the chart. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Shopping on Amazon.
Multitasking can be great if you're getting things done, you're staying purposeful, but when it gets out of control, you're taking on too much. It's gonna that borders on dysfunction. Yeah.
Alan, there's another one I see in here. It's called out in multiple ways, but it has to do with other people, toxic people, or other people who need something all the time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for saying that, because I just had a discussion the other day with somebody about these time bandits, and that jumped off the chart there too. Dysfunction in a family, dysfunction with other people, dysfunctional work situation. I mean, it keeps you from staying focused and getting purposeful things done.
And some people are mentioning internal dialogue. So having those negative thoughts, that's a time bandit, because you're wasting time trying to navigate through those thoughts to get to what you need to do.
Self-esteem, self-confidence. Now I'm going to put on the table, I do another presentation on that too, building self-esteem and self-confidence, because it can, that inner voice, you can't do this, you can't get this done, you're not that good, on and on and on. It can wear you down.
Yeah. That's good. I see related to that too. So Alan, footnote that because that might be an upcoming session.
Let's go. Yeah, I'm ready.
I see overthinking.
Yes, yes.
That too.
Okay, people, perfectionism can tie into that, or overthinking. It's got to be just like this, the circumstances, or, so that comes with self-confidence too. When you overthink, you haven't had many successes, you think, oh, what's going to go wrong here, and on and on and on. That mind plays games. So I appreciate all that feedback, and I love engaging everybody, because that's the way you do training. You do it together, one team, one fight. So here's some things, and I heard this: reading emails, net surfing, social media. Now I can take any one of those. To me, when I do this work and people send an email and it's a group one, sometimes people respond and they really just need to respond to one person, but they hit reply all. So, we can take charge of this reading of emails, the writing of emails, be purposeful in how we do things. And so sometimes, you got to just click them off of there. Net surfing. I've heard people say, hey, I get in that internet. The next thing I know, man, 2 or 3 hours have gone by. What happened? And social media, same thing. It can be an addiction. They've decided that, and it can be a connection to mental health problems and suicide. Personal calls, socializing, taking too long to explain something. I always like it when people can get to the point, and sometimes I get in trouble and I say, hey, can you get to the point? That people can get angry too, but it's think about what you're going to say, organize it, and put it out there. And I'm going off here a little bit, but I think it's pertinent. Sometimes when I was a supervisor, I had to do case reviews, and people would come to me saying, hey, I need to talk to you about this case. And they really hadn't organized what they were talking about. And it took a long time. And so I implemented a system where you lay out your information, organize your thoughts, then you walk in and say, hey, purposefully, here's what I need to talk about. Here's the case. Here's what's going on. This is what I know. What action should I take? And so it moved things along, the more and you can do that with meetings. When you're in a group meeting, have people organize their thoughts, prepare their presentations, what they want to say beforehand. I see it works well, and people get used to it. They like it. It helps write minutes and stuff too. Interruptions. There is a time where you have to say no to people. We need to always remember that too. There's a time and a place to say, no, I'm not doing that now. And don't always apologize about stuff. Do what you have to do. Procrastination, confusion over a task or lack of skills or direction. I've seen that on jobs where people aren't sure how to do something, and sometimes they haven't been provided the proper direction from a supervisor. Now, this isn't an attack on anybody, but I've seen it. If people have to do something, it's a 1-minute manager. Here's what I need you to do. Let me show you how to do it. Now you do it, and I'm going to watch you do it. And if you need me, I'm here to help you. So there should never be any confusion. And if there is, people should have somebody they can talk to. Lack of appropriate equipment on work or at home when you're doing something. So with that said, what I want to do, I want to talk about goal setting. And how can you ensure, I'm going to ask another couple of questions here. How can you ensure that you make your vision for the new year a reality? What actions can you take to achieve your goals? What actions can you take? So as you guys see anything in there, let me know. You guys track that chat box, but it's good to hear from people. And also, here's another little question you can slide in. What keeps you from achieving goals? I talked to a lot of people, and they set goals, and they go, oh, I wanted to do that, but I really didn't get to it. So you seeing anything in that chat box, Crystal?
Yeah.
Okay.
Setting a plan.
Set a plan, keep organized.
Make it even a vision board, which I thought was a good suggestion.
Oh, yeah. Lay your goals out, your vision, and track how you're doing.
Yeah. Setting boundaries.
Setting boundaries with people and on yourself. Yeah. Guard that time, man.
Yeah, and see a good bit around the importance of setting realistic goals.
Oh yeah,
set things that are too big, too broad, and
you have to be able to attain them, or you lose interest, no doubt.
And then Alan, also just getting out of the way of your own self, you know, and going back to that internal dialogue, not letting that be a barricade to achieving your goals.
Right. Yeah. And I always, you know, to me, when people start to achieve goals and they move forward, they do that positive self-talk, pat yourself on the back. I feel good about that. And in a job or in a friendship, we need to do that too. Crystal, you did one heck of a job on that project. It's really great. You know, we may think Crystal's got plenty of self-esteem and all this stuff, but you know, it's good to hear it from other people too. You know, we need to pat ourselves on the back. You know, I think I did do a good job. It's not bragging. You know, I'm not going to walk down the street bragging about it, but I'm going to feel good about it. So
I think that's a really good point, Alan, because sometimes we do look at people and we think it came up earlier too about the comparing. Like sometimes we compare ourselves to our colleagues and others, and that can be a barrier.
Oh yeah.
So but sometimes it might even look like someone is really confident and has it going, but being supportive and uplifting that positivity is good for all of us, for ourselves, to encourage ourselves and to encourage others.
Right. And you know, I love that. This is why I like talking about stuff, but when I hear comparing ourselves to others, I always encourage people, don't compare yourself and tear yourself down. But I'm going to tell you, I spent a lot of my time, and look, I'm older, but when I was younger, I looked at people that maybe had things going on, they could get things done, and I studied them. What are they doing? What can I learn from them and use in my own life? Does it work for me? And so I don't mind comparing what they're doing and analyzing analytically. What do they do? How do they do it? What's good about that with their personality, their moods, their work habits? And you can learn from other people. That's a piece of resilience. That's a piece of being resilient.
Absolutely. And being able to receive and accept those compliments is good too.
Yes. And that comes with self-esteem.
Yeah.
You don't have it, and I say, hey, you did a great job, that inner voice is going to say, hey, what's he talking about? I don't believe that. You know, so we've got to talk about self-esteem, self-confidence, and that resilience and that tie in together big time. So
can I lift up one more thing that was in the chat box, posted in the chat, and it goes back to many of us were on the session last week, the longer 1 to 3 o'clock session around secondary trauma, and something that was shared there was know your why. So if you're thinking about how to, you know, you're accomplishing your goal, you know, why, understanding why that's important to you. So that was something that was also posted in the chat, and we talked a bit about that last week for those of us that were on.
Beautiful. So, hey, I ask these questions because I want to feed off of what people are saying. And I do want to say this before I do the steps about goal setting. Sometimes what keeps people from achieving their goals, you know, it can be easy to stop working toward goals. I've heard people say that something goes on, maybe they weren't that motivated by it, or the why wasn't there, but people can lose their focus. And so we definitely need to lay out clear action steps for achieving our goals. And you know, these personality characteristics and qualities that we talk about in resilience jump off the chart to me when it comes to achieving goals. You know, being persistent, driven, motivated, committed, and disciplined, you know, but flexible at the same time. So with that said, and what all you have said, I want to talk about goal setting, some steps that seem to work. So let me put these on the table. Let me do a couple of other comments first. So to move forward, you do need to set goals. Goals do provide focus and direction. Goals allow you to take control of your life and provide a way to measure your success. Am I achieving what I want to achieve? It can be measured. So goal setting starts with what you want to achieve. And I love that why. I love that why chat box thing is why says, why am I doing this? On and on, but I love it. Achieving goals involves hard work and well-defined action steps. So I'm going to give you some simple steps. Number one, set goals that motivate you. Make sure they are important to you and there is value in achieving them. There's that why. Set goals that are tied to high priorities for you. Motivation is key to achieving goals. If it's a high priority, it's important to you, you're going to be motivated to get it done and you're going to have that energy to stick to it. Set specific goals. Your goal must be clear and well defined. I like to write them out, have them written out, have action steps tied to it. It's one thing to say, here's the end of it, but you have to take steps to get there. And so you'll ultimately lay that out. Goals must provide direction. And in that process, define exactly what you want to accomplish. What am I trying to do here? What's it going to take to get it done? And I like visualization. Let me picture it. What roadblocks or barriers am I going to run into? Put all that on the table. So that ties into being realistic too. So set measurable goals. You need to provide specifics such as amounts and due dates so you can measure your success. Hey, I said I was going to get this done by this date. Did I get that done? Yes, I did. Hey, we're moving in the right direction. Or no, okay, don't fall apart. What can we do? Let's get back on track. It keeps you going in the right direction. By measuring your success, you can celebrate your progress as well as the goal completion. And again, that's what we're talking about, being able to say, hey, I'm happy about that. And if we've got people involved and support from others, it should be like a we thing. Hey, man, Alan or Crystal, that was fantastic. Bethany, man, this is awesome. So you get that self-esteem and self-confidence coming along. Set realistic goals. Make sure your goal can be attained. Don't set a goal you can't reach. That's a setup for failure. So setting unattainable goals can demoralize you and erode your self-confidence. So sometimes self-confidence can be tied to, I set something I couldn't achieve. It was just a daydream. So make it realistic, no doubt. Number 5, set relevant goals. Goals should be relevant to the direction you want your life and your career to take. Again, to me, that ties to the why piece. Why am I doing this? This is something I really want to achieve and do. This helps you keep your actions focused on what you need and want to achieve. You will not waste valuable time in your life. Those time bandits are going to be less and less. That mindset of spending my time like it's a financial investment. So set time limits. When you have time limits, you have deadlines, and goals must have deadlines. So what's that do? It increases this sense of urgency. I said I was going to have this done by this date. I'm going to push myself and get it done. I'm going to persist. I'm going to be committed, and I'm going to get this done. So it increases that sense of urgency, which gets people moving. Achievement will come sooner if you have time limits. And then 7, assess your progress. Are you making positive progress toward your goals? Are the outcomes what you expected? Are they what you want? Is the goal attainable? Do you need to modify deadlines? If necessary, don't beat yourself up with this stuff. It's a process. Just assess what's going on. If you need to, go back and review your goal setting process and make needed changes. It's that simple. That's the resilience piece. Don't, everything is a learn and grow. What did I learn from this? Oh, I learned I need to do this and to make it a little better. Hey, I did this. It worked out great. I'm going to remember that. So to me, I'm coming to an end here, and we can talk some more, but let's make a commitment to make 2021 the best year we can by taking charge in these challenging times. So achieve your dreams in 2021 by setting your goals and taking purposeful actions. You can make it happen. You're a great group. And, with that said, I'm going to turn this back over to Crystal and Bethany, and we can all talk some. I've enjoyed being with you guys. I love doing this stuff. But anyway, yeah.
Oh, he has thrown down the gauntlet, Bethany. It's so good. So good.
Thank you.
All right, so the first thing I'm going to say, and I'll let Bethany chime in and see what she's taking away. A couple weeks ago, when Alan and I were talking about this session and framing it out, one of the things he said, and he shared it early on in this presentation, was about saying that you don't have enough time. And I was like, oh, my self-check was like, oh, I'm so guilty of saying that so many times. And Alan's like, no, we all have the same 24 hours. Every day has 24 hours. It's what takes priority and what do you do? So I have really taken that to heart and have challenged myself when I feel that thought coming in my head and those words about to come out. I've checked that and tried to stop that from happening and really reshift and reframe how I'm thinking about that. So I'll lift that up to all of us, because I know so many of us are in that space where we can think that there's so much on our plates and so much to do, but if we don't shift that, then we're putting that control outside of what we can do, and we're not taking charge. So I thank you for bringing that up. And that's a challenge that I've taken on for myself. The second one, and I'm gonna throw this gauntlet out there for all of you, is to really choose, if it's one of the time bandits, really choose that one time bandit and focus on moving that out of the way. And mine has been, I've set like, okay, for the next 21 days, I am not scrolling on my phone. I'm getting the information that I need, responding to what I need, but I'm not scrolling. So when I find myself doing that, I'm not beating myself up. I'm just saying, oh, I'm not supposed to be scrolling, and I stop and I move so that I can shift that habit. So that's what I got. Bethany, what you got?
So I feel like really it's our own selves that can sometimes get in the way of this. And so that's what I'm hearing from people, and I'm also seeing in my own life. And the more time that you can dedicate to the self-care that a lot of us are setting as a goal to do more of, the better you're going to get at removing those negative thoughts. It's a practice, and you have to practice it just like anything else. It's not going to just magically shift one day without practicing it. And so I think if anything, for me, I would challenge others to find some form of meditation or whatever you want to call it, deep breathing, or something that works for you, in which you can set positive intentions and move the negative thoughts out of your way, and you'll be amazed at what you achieve. And then give yourself credit for the small and big things that you achieve, and don't say, oh, I just got lucky. Give yourself credit. Pat yourself on the back, as Alan said.
Hey, I got to say one thing, man. You guys make me emotional. When something you don't know about me, I've always said, and as far back as I can remember, all I wanted to do in my life was to make a difference and help somebody. And I mean, I go back to a kid. That's the way I was. And when I see responses that are going on here, I'm not taking responsibility for it, but when we embrace, I'm hearing this, when you embrace it, you'll start talking to yourself. You'll start practicing it. You'll examine critically the situation you're in. You'll control getting angry. You won't bury stuff. You'll put your feelings out. You'll start taking action steps to make a difference and move forward. And I'm hearing all this stuff now. And that's the resilience, man. Embrace it. Live it. Let it soak into you, man. It will change your life. And I see it happening, and it makes me emotional, man. I'm excited. and I could get some tears, man. You guys are awesome.
This is an amazing group, and Alan, we are so grateful for you. And let me tell you, my friend, you are continuing to make a difference for people.
Well, I'm here for you all. I'll be here anytime you need me. Any talk, you let me know, and I'll send you that PowerPoint so you can ship it out to people.
Absolutely, everybody. So as we start to come to a close, I've seen that question in the chat. We will send out those slides and the recording to this session whenever it is available. If it's not done today, it'll be, next week. We'll send that out with next week's registration link as well. So I also want to lift up, you are welcome and encouraged actually to share any of these things that we send out to you, the recordings, the PowerPoint slides. Share them with anyone that you think might find it useful. If you want to use that in your own workplace or share it out with people that you know personally, that's what we send it out to you for. So do that. If you do a presentation and use the materials, we would ask you to respectfully give credit to the person who developed the materials. But by all means, get this information out to anyone that you think could use it. That's the point, right? We don't want it to just live with us. Share it out as best you can.
That's how you make change. That's how you affect communities. Let's do it.
Let's do it. So I'm going to encourage you to pick something. Don't try to take it all on, but pick something that you're going to focus on in that time bandit category and get that out of your way, and something that you're going to focus on in those goal setting steps, right? So that's where we start. Having said that, I hope that everyone has a great weekend. Many of us will have a long weekend. And so I hope that you will have some good time to focus on some of these things and spend some of that time in reflection, as Bethany lifted up as well. So thanks, everyone. Thank you, Alan. Thanks, Bethany.
Thank you. Thanks to everybody. Be resilient. Carry on.
Thanks. Appreciate you all being here. Bye.